This is how you can get free full body tracking in VRChat using only your smartphone, whether you're on Quest 2 or PCVR. There's no denying that full body tracking brings a next level of immersion to VRChat. Having control of your legs and hips gives you infinitely more freedom of expression, but this usually comes at a high price. But what if I told you there's a way to track your body without buying any extra hardware? And the only thing you'll need is probably sitting in your pocket or on your desk right now. And thanks to the Viso team, the sponsors of today's video, this is now possible using the app Viso FBT. Viso FBT uses your phone camera to estimate the movement of your body. It then sends the tracking information as OSC data to VRChat. This method of tracking does have its limitations compared to dedicated hardware solutions. However, it is one of the most accessible options for casual players, especially if you're only using the Quest 2. Don't worry though, you can still use it with PCVR with headsets like the Valve Index, as I'll be demonstrating today. And to be completely clear, Viso is a separate app that tracks your body using your phone camera and provides OSC data. It's not part of or endorsed by VRChat. Alright, there's a few things to keep in mind during setup, so let's get into that now and I'll show you how this works. First, download the app. You can find download links in the description below for both Android and iOS, including the Amazon App Store, the iOS App Store, and Viso's own website. At the time of recording, they're looking into getting it relisted onto Google Play as well. Once you are in the app, select the game you want to use it with. Right now, there's only VRChat. With that being said, there may be more games coming in the future. It's updated every 1 or 2 weeks with more features and bug fixes on the way. Now, once you have it booted up, you'll need to indicate if you're using a Quest 2 or a PC connected to a headset like the Valve Index, set the IP address of the headset if you're using it as a standalone device, and otherwise select the IP address of your computer that it's connected to. Just make sure the headset is connected to the same network as the PC. Enter your height for calibration. Be sure to be honest here, it will affect your tracking results. At this point, you can mount your phone somewhere secure and make sure the camera can see you in full. I'm using a ring light here, but you could use a phone holder on your desk or something like that. Just make sure your phone camera can see your entire body and there's enough light in your room. It's also recommended that you don't wear very loose clothing or blend in with the background colors. Hit the connect button and you should be good to go. Once that's all set up, we can finally hop into VRChat and finish the setup. You're going to open up your radial menu here, and now we are going to enable OSC. Alrighty then, I suggest you find a mirror for this next step. So the way this works is you are going to want to go down here. You should have this calibrate full body tracking option. And that's what you're first gonna press. And go ahead and give it an initial shot. As you can see here, the results kind of suck at first. So we're gonna have to calibrate the trackers even further with this auto center OSC trackers. And as you can see, my body did some lovely contortions there. Now we can finally calibrate, and hopefully we can get a better result out of this. Alright, I had to readjust myself and set up a better camera here. The important thing while calibrating is to make sure your tracking points are connected with the right parts of your body, especially things like the knees and elbows. You can adjust the tracker visuals and even tweak the OSC tracker locations manually. However, I've personally found it easiest just to readjust myself in front of the camera and try the auto centering again if things aren't working out. One other thing you can do inside the Viso app is disable certain trackers. So let's say you can't get your elbows to work at all or something like that. So if you're having trouble with like one particular part of your body causing the others to go out of whack, then I would suggest just turning it off. This especially applies to certain avatars where it might not bend the legs or something in the way you want it to go. Here's a few more poses I attempted, including sitting down. Sitting works fairly well in my experience. It can be a little more difficult than standing. There's still a chance it glitches out in certain poses. Also, just a side note, I'm using a tool called OVR Advanced Settings that allows me to adjust my play space and align myself. Laying down was more difficult for me to capture. It may have been because of my play space size or the camera angle. It was just a lot harder to find a pose that the camera liked. Overall though, I was still very impressed with what you were able to capture using only your camera. It was honestly a little rough at first, but once I got the hang of what it liked and didn't like, I was able to sort of adjust my behavior accordingly. I did feel that it added to the experience, especially if you're going to be standing in front of a mirror like most VRChat players do. So as you can see, it's a very different experience from hardware-based full body tracking. I think my favorite part about this is just not having to wear any trackers. You still have your controller, still have your headset, but the rest of you is completely free. I don't have a Quest 2, but if you combine this with like controller-free hand tracking, you could have a crazy immersive experience. With that being said, there still are a few drawbacks to this solution, and I think you can see it. Even with all the smoothing applied, fast movements such as dancing can throw off your results. There's this weird hip sliding that I noticed has a certain effect. It doesn't look very grounded in reality. And of course, you need to be careful and remain in sight of the camera. Anything preventing yourself from being seen, even overlapping body parts, can cause tracking issues. So while I don't think this is going to completely replace my own set of full body trackers, it's a good way to try out camera-based full body tracking without having to commit to buying any additional software or hardware. Thanks again to the Viso team for sponsoring this video. Let me know if you can get some good results in it. I'm curious to see what the community has to say.